All right. All right. Who am I? All right. All right. All right. I can't do the accent, but do you guys know who I'm talking about? We got to let it breathe. So while it's breathing, guys, ask yourself who I am poorly trying to impersonate. Famous actor. Yeah, Scott knows. Do you know Scott? Yeah. Scott went like this. This is a hint. If you know the answer, this is a hint. Matthew McConaughey. Let's go. Let's go. Uh, Dazed and Confused. Welcome in, everybody. It's the Mile High Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Chad Jensen. With me is my co-host, partner in crime, and he winked out. We jinxed it, dude. We jinxed it. We were just talking about how we fixed it. He'll be right back. Don't worry, guys. StreamYard's got some issues, man. StreamYard's got some issues. But tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to be, hold on, let me see what Mr. Producer's talking about here. Yeah. We're going to be talking about the top 100. Zach Allen is the first Bronco so far checking in. He made it. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about whether or not, how many other Broncos are going to make the list. While we're waiting on my part here, though, just some hellos. David Youngkin, what's up, brother? I got to send something to Zach real fast here. Invite, copy. Hang tight one sec, guys. We got to try a workaround so that this doesn't happen again tonight. So it'll take 2 seconds. Bam, done. And I'm back with you. All right. Sorry about that, guys. StreamYard, get your crap together. Guys, I promise you this is not our fault. This is a StreamYard defective feature. Since Chrome, in case you missed last night's stream, the reason people keep winking out is if you have a green screen, the new Chrome browser updates, Firefox and Edge did something that is not interfacing right with StreamYard. StreamYard's trying to fix it and figure out what it is. We could just turn off our green screens, but then you would just see this ugly green screen. Like this is, you want to see what it would look like? I'll show you what it look like as we await Zach coming back. So if I were to say no green screen, this is what it would look like. This is a wall. I painted green because what I used to do when we first started the show, we decided, okay, let's go full green screen. Scott actually swung me on it. Scott and my friend Jeff was like, it looks better. And I agreed with him. I bought the things on Amazon where you kind of pull them up and they're on a stand and you kind of move them behind you. But I could never quite find one that was perfect size to where I didn't have to fiddle with it every time to make sure that it's perfectly not, basically encompassing the whole frame. This is boring inside baseball stuff. But eventually we decided, no, let's just paint the wall. And it's made a huge difference. All of a sudden, StreamYard having a hard time figuring out how to make it work. What do we got here? NFL 2025 NFL offensive line preseason composite rankings. Let me get that little banner off. Let's see here. We got, where's Denver ranked number 2? Is this, yeah, okay, PFF. So sources, this is composite across the different sources. PFF for the win, Fantasy Point Sharp. Doesn't include ESPN's thing, huh? Either way, look where you got the Denver Broncos, number 2, behind only the Philadelphia Eagles at number 1, Tampa Bay at 3, Detroit, at 4, Minnesota 5, Buffalo 6, Chargers 7. Falcons are up there. Scott, hey, how about that? Yeah, so is this coming from a super chat? Oh, okay. But look at that. And of course, if you saw the article today, Eric Trickle covered it. The Broncos offensive line in PFF's okay, Zach. In PFF's sorry guys, Zach's trying to get back in a different way to minimize the possibility of what just happened. So now I got to get him a code. Hold on one sec, guys. 1 second. I got to get him a code. Bada bing. Sorry guys. I got to do it. Hang tight. He's like almost back in, but he needs this little code thingy. Boom. There you go. Anyway, PFF. Sorry, guys. This again, I'm pissed off at StreamYard. And unfortunately, there's no way for us to test before we actually go live whether this is going to be a problem. We just have to go, in we go. And the last couple nights, we had it solved. But anyway, PFF ranked number 2. Eric had the offensive line of the Broncos number 2. We'll talk more about that later. Sam, what's up, dude? Thank you for the very generous super chat, brother. I mean, we're so lucky to have you guys. Seriously. We've been doing this a while now, and most of you, I mean, we've had some that kind of super chat superstars that come and go, that burn off one form or the other, but there's the core group that has been with us since the beginning. And Sam's been with us as far as I can remember. I mean, I can't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, but I do know that Sam's been with us from the beginning. Zach's back. I haven't even grabbed the super chat yet, but Zach, I've been begging everybody's pardon on this. It's not our fault. Unfortunately, it's still StreamYard, but you're back in the saddle, dude. Don't worry about it.
I don't even know what to say at this point. Hopefully I'm not muted. You guys can hear me. You guys can see me. It crashed me out again, Chad. I'm in a different browser. I'm back on Firefox. I guess I was on Chrome. Then I had to log back in. But yeah, that was the issue. That was my fault. I raised my hand. But hopefully we're good now. And I see we have a big super from Sam. So thank you, Sam.
Yeah, Sam. And I'm going to read it. I was just giving him props and how much we appreciate you, brother. He says, "Evening, Chad, Zach, and Scott in Broncos country. Hope everyone had an enjoyable 4th of July weekend. 9 weeks to go. I think the Broncos will have 4 total top 100 players. Surtain, Benito, Bowles, along with Zach Allen. Go Broncos." So let's get into it a little bit, and then we'll kind of keep it with the chat. There's a few other things we could talk about tonight, but Zach Allen, for the first time in his pro career, Zach made the NFL Network top 100, where it's voted on by the players, right? To me, that's the one that actually has the most meaning. These lists don't have much meaning, including this one in the final grand analysis. But of the offseason lists, the players care about this one the most because it's mostly weighted by the actual player votes. So Zach Allen checks in at number 90. We're going to talk about some others, but who are the Broncos that you feel relatively certain, Zach, are going to make an appearance on this year's list?
There's only one slam dunk, unfortunately, because this is weighted like the Pro Bowl, where it's a lot of name recognition. The only slam dunk I could see is PS2. The tier below that, below a slam dunk, would be Nick Benito, but the only one that's guaranteed to be on there is the reigning defensive player of the year.
You know what? It actually gives me, hear me out on this, it actually gives me some encouragement that Allen is so far going to be the lowest ranked Bronco, because remember, Allen was snubbed in the Pro Bowl voting. Now, for all we know, it could have been his fellow players, the 1/3 of the vote, right? The Pro Bowl's 1/3 fan vote, 1/3 player, 1/3 coach and personnel. For all we know, it was the players and the personnel weren't the ones that decidedly made it so he was snubbed. Maybe it was the fans, because he is still relatively unheralded, but he did make second team All-Pro. So it encourages me. Yes, Michaela jumping in with the super chat. Love you. Thank you so much.
Michaela.
And she's saying, pay Zach Allen. Word. We'll put a pin in that just for a second. Keep her on screen, Mr. Producer. But if Zach Allen, my point here, Zach, if he's the, and we're trying to get that profile of his out there a little bit more in the NFL zeitgeist. But if he's the first guy or the lowest ranked guy, that does give me some encouragement that maybe, and I'm not saying this quite yet, but maybe we'll see guys like Quinn Miners, who second team or first team All-Pro. Quinn Miners might not have been first team. Either way, All-Pro. Nick Benito. We know Pat Surtain's going to be there. Who was the other guy? There's 5 All-Pros. Benito, Allen. Oh, Marvin Mims. Any chance in hell Marvin Mims makes this list, Zach?
I don't think so. Again, there's too many other good recognizable receivers in the NFL, but we all know the utility Marvin Mims has. A lot of teams have players like him. But to your point, Chad, a lot of other years we've talked about these lists in the dead of the offseason, and no Broncos were on there at all. So the fact that we already have one, we're guaranteed to have another, and there might be some surprises. It just shows that the Broncos are, in fact, ascending.
And as Michaela says here, pay Zach Allen. I think that's coming here pretty soon. I mean, there's no way to foresee it perfectly. In Allen's case, I still remain confident that he is the top priority in terms of the extensions. Although it's kind of fun, over the weekend, Eric wrote up an article that actually, the first extension the Broncos need to take care of isn't a player. It's George Payton, the general manager. So we'll see what happens there. But Zach, there's also been a lot more, and I want your thoughts on this too, Michaela, a lot more kind of momentum building, buzz, hubbub, whatever you want to call it, that the Broncos are going to wait on Nick Bonito and see how he does early on this season, which to me, as you guys know, I've been saying that that's the approach that makes the most sense to me. What do you think?
Well, I'll just talk about Benito, Zach Allen, George Payton. How about paying Zadeh Barron and RJ Harvey, the draft picks, and getting them under contract? But in all seriousness, Michaela, thank you so much for your contribution. It's greatly appreciated. And you're right. I think Chad and I are on the same page here with Zach Allen. He should be the priority. And I think it will get done. I saw something where he could draw from 22 to 23 a year annually. I think that's fair. He wants 25. I don't know if he'll get it, but his price tag is only going to increase, Michaela, the longer the Broncos wait. I would just get it done now and take care of it.
It's kind of interesting. What's up, Ron? Great to see you, brother. Thank you for being with us tonight and giving everybody props. Good evening, Zach, on the Mile High Huddle podcast, Mile High Puddle. Zach, on again, Ron, dude, I don't know what we'd do without you every single night, bro. Every single night. You're there this morning. I know you were there with the Broncos for Breakfast guys. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate you. Nick Bonito, though, I think he makes the top 100. And here's why. He might be ranked pretty low, like he might be in that next tranche of players, but it wasn't just Zach that he made the Pro Bowl, All-Pro, 13 and a half sacks, made a late push for Defensive Player of the Year. That did build him quite a bit of name recognition and cachet around the NFL. But the fact that he scored twice last year, we can't forget that. A pick six and then a fumble. Basically, both of them were interceptions, but one of them was behind the line of scrimmage, so it counted as a fumble. Remember, against the Colts. But Nick Bonito, man, he's building a head of steam. But if you're the Broncos and you got to think about the grand picture and the fact that you got 4 years counting this year to make hay while Bo Nix is on a rookie contract, you got to be careful with how you spend that Walmart money.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. And I mentioned name recognition. Well, how do you get name recognition? You make highlight level Sports Center top 10 plays. And that's what Nick Bonito did last year. Single-handedly won the Broncos a couple football games, might have sent them to the playoffs because of it. But Zach Allen has been consistent for 2 years, Chad. The Broncos feel comfortable knowing he can do what they're going to pay him to do. Maybe they're thinking Nick Bonito is a flash in the pan, and that's where I could see them waiting until maybe at least midseason before entering contract talks.
Gene William, what's up to you, my brother? Says me and Ralph are hanging on the back porch watching tonight, ready for a great show, dude. Thank you for being with us, fellas. Great to see you. And looking forward to hanging in October. It's going to be a gas. But yes, Nick Bonito, we shall see. We'll see. But Zach, what's on everybody's mind? Ralph says, if Kirk Cousins puts on a bandana, do you think he has a chance to be a starter? I don't know what that means. Is that like an inside joke, Zach? I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if it's a joke, I think I missed it, brother. But Mike says training camp when Zach Allen will get paid is when Zach Allen will get paid by the Broncos. Probably. Yep. When there's, media in attendance and they can make some fanfare out of it and allow him to get his flowers. Makes sense. That's basically what we've expected to see from the beginning. Taylor, what's up, brother? And this was what I was trying to segue to. Everyone wonders, okay, is Bo Nix going to make the NFL Network's top 100? Taylor says Bo should be, and by the way, thank you, brother, in the top 100. He's way better than Tua, who he was in the the bottom 10, that first 10 guys. I can't remember exactly what number he was, Zach, but look, on one hand, and I want your take on this, Zach, on one hand, with orange colored glasses on, Broncos fans are so excited about Bo Nix. I mean, he rewrote the franchise rookie record books, set a bunch of different statistical marks. I mean, only one quarterback in Broncos history has passed for more touchdowns in a single season than Bo Nix, and it's only Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning has 3 such seasons. But if Peyton Manning in some alternate football universe, Zach, had never come to Denver, Bo Nix would be the all-time single-season leading touchdown in his rookie year. So while we're all excited about him, Tua was ranked 90. No, Zach Allen was ranked 90. 91. Okay, 91. Anyway, we're all excited about Bo Nix, Zach, but do you think the NFL, did he do enough to break into the zeitgeist to where the NFL believes these players? Because what do they get? Is it, I think it's they have to list their 10 guys, right? Isn't it 10 or is it 20 guys that each guy who's polled has to list? I'm not 100% sure. I think it's 10. Do you think he broke into that?
Maybe some lists and other lists not. I mentioned again, I'm going to say this a lot on tonight's show, name recognition. Bo Nix, as good as he was last year, I just don't think he has it on a NFL superstar scale. Now, I guarantee you Jaden Daniels, Chad, is on this list somewhere. I guarantee you, because he's more, as a rookie, he was more of a recognizable player. He had more of those highlight reel plays, and he just got more of the attention. But we know how good Bo Nix is, and we don't need any affirmation from top 100.
By the way, we're getting some explanation here from Ralph. Ralph and Gene, in case you guys missed it, they are kin. So they're always hanging out, watching the show together. Ralph is talking about the comment Jamar Chase made about Patrick Mahomes, saying he's just another Kirk Cousins with a headband when he doesn't have, if he were to not have Travis Kelce. Okay, I see what you're saying. I just missed that today. My bad, guys. I wasn't aware that he said that. But, yeah, I don't know. Jamar Chase making some waves out there, throwing some shade at Mahomes. Zach.
Yeah, I can't say I can't say I agree with the assessment, but I really appreciate Jamar Chase's dedication to hating the Chiefs. Like, that's his arch nemesis. That's his life's mission, is to hate on Kansas City. So I'm with you, Jamar.
That's funny. Thank you for the context, boys. Really appreciate it. So, here's the thing. I'd like to think that Bo Nix would make a top 100. Honestly, in the year 2024, I think, this is my opinion, that he's worthy of consideration as one of the 100 best players. If it's all about quarterback, if quarterback-driven league, yada, yada. I know it's not the top quarterbacks of 2025. It's the top 100 players. But still, it's got to be weighted, you'd think, somewhat with quarterbacks. I would say in a vacuum, Bo Nix was one of the 100 best players in the NFL last year. Will he make the list? Probably not. Because you look at his rankings, or I have my doubts. Let me put it that way. His QBR, this was something Scott brought up pre-show. You look at his QBR, he's 18, 19, something like that. Among quarterbacks, you look at his rating, his actual passer rating in that same ballpark. And that carries a lot of water in terms of how these type of things go. Doug, excited for the season. You guys are great. I'm going to try for the meet and greet from Albuquerque. Our MHH family is the best. Dude, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome, bro. How far is that? Let me see. Albuquerque to Denver. I'm saying, are you going to fly it or are you going to drive it? Albuquerque. I just got to see. I'm curious. So 6 hours, 6.5, depending on how much, or 7, depending on how often you stop. Dude, it would be awesome, Doug. Hopefully you're able to make that. So thank you, buddy, for being with us and for the support. Means a lot.
Yeah, I hope to see you there, Doug. I personally, I think this is going to be the best meet and greet yet, Chad, only because in that point of the season, in October, the Broncos are going to be on a roll and they're going to face Russell Wilson, the downtrodden Giants. Can't wait for that matchup, baby.
It's going to be fun. And what do we do? For those of you who have not been to a meet and greet, we get there. Here's the quick Cliff Notes kind of preview is we get there. MHH does early, right as the tailgate opens. We get a booth and a couple of tents set up. We're easy to spot because it's a big blue tent that says Mile High Huddle and hashtag State of Being. And, we have some merch there and some different fun things for people. Games, beverages, always make sure there's some food. And then we just hang out and meet everybody. If you guys want pictures, you want to talk football, hang out, just visit, really. Sometimes, Zach, people come, they hang out for a bit, pass through, they want to go to the team store, they're checking out the stadium because they've come from somewhere else, right? They're making the pilgrimage from maybe like Doug, Albuquerque. So it's not, being at the stadium is quite the novelty. So they'll come hang out for a bit, then go check out other stuff, and then go to the game. Others hang with us the whole time. It's a lot of fun. We get great pictures, video, sign some things, whatever you want. We're there for that. And the best part about it is getting to know each and every one of you better and meet more and more of you each and every year.
Yeah, I just love putting a face to the name and being able to say thank you for all the generosity you guys have bestowed onto us over the course of the year, and just hanging out, talking football, talking Broncos. What's better than that? Nothing.
It's the dream, baby. It's the dream. Patrick, Aloha Priest and Deacon, I would like to live call during the meet and greet, just putting it out there. So maybe someone would help me out with this. Like do a Skype type thing or like a Facebook Messenger video call, something like that. That'd be awesome, bro. That'd be awesome. It's a hop, skip, and a jump to make it from Hawaii. And that's one of the things that to this day blows our minds is how far so many of you come for the meet and greet. I mean, just last year, I know at least one of our great community members and superstars came from Hawaii, right? D-Dub and his wife. Every year that we've had it, D-Dub makes the trip. I was just talking earlier in the show about big-time members of the community. They come, they go. Some burn hot, fade away fast. Some burn hot, fade away slow. But one of those, Zach, remember Keaka, another Hawaiian member of the community. And I still see him every once in a while on Twitter. We haven't seen him in the chat for a while, but it's fine. It's all good, man. We got a chance to meet him. But my point here is people come from a good distance. I mean, even Naj comes. I'm not going to say exactly where he comes from. That's his business, but he comes from a long ways away. So we, we're honored in regards to that. And I wish we could say that, you're going to be 100% entertained the whole time and it's going to be the most memorable. Well, I don't want to sound like some kind of dude sniffing his own farts, but we have fun, Zach. It's a good time.
If anything else, win or lose, rain or sunshine, it's an amazing time. I can co-sign that 100%. And Patrick, for sure, if you can't make it out there, but you want to call in, absolutely. You're a valued member of the community. And I want to plug once again, Lion Coffee, best coffee in the game. Appreciate you, brother.
It is delicious. And it gets the job done too, if you know what I'm talking about. Roy saying so far going to be at the meet and greet. Great, dude. Hope that doesn't change. Scott says Broncos fans, Zach, hoping for the finally we get to see the revenge match with Russ, Sean Payton, Bo Nix now in the equation. Going to be disappointed because it's going to be Jackson Dart by the time week 7 rolls around.
Maybe Russ will have another injury that'll keep him sidelined, or more likely he'll be beat out by one of the other quarterbacks on the roster. Regardless, it's an easier matchup, quote unquote, for the Broncos, and we look forward to seeing you guys out there in October.
Week 7, D'Angeli's week 7, brother. Broncos Giants. That's the date. Circle it. Pardon me. And Michael, dude, you should make it. Another Hawaiian listener, but born and raised in Colorado. Make it out, dude, if you can. It'd be great. So Bo and Russell Wilson cap hit for the Broncos. Get this. Wrap your brain around this. If you were to add up Bo and Russell Wilson's cap hit for the Broncos this year, it's $36 million, which is $3 million less than what Tua Tagovailoa is earning, Zach, with the Dolphins. Wrap your brain around that.
It's crazy. It's one of the more, ill-fated contracts, but, I'm just happy the Broncos are seeing the sun, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel now.
Yeah, Mr. Producer bringing up that point, and it really is a shame, dude, how Tua hasn't been able to stay healthy because he finally found the right coach to make the most out of what he can do, and it really is a bummer. It's a bummer. So we'll see how that pans out for him. And Michael would agree that there's a higher probability of it being Dart instead of Wilson week 7. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Zach, if Russell Wilson fails to win/retain a starting job this year, how much longer do you think he keeps trying to stick around in the league before he just says, all right, I've had a good career. I won a Super Bowl. I mean, remember, I'm not saying this. When he arrived in Denver, there were a lot of people that said because of his accomplishments in Seattle, he's at least in the Hall of Fame conversation. again, won a Super Bowl, went to another, lost barely, right? That interception in the end zone, but 9-time Pro Bowler in 10 years in Seattle. There are a lot of people who have argued that alone at least puts him in the conversation. I'm not necessarily saying that, but I think he maybe needed to do a little bit more than that to go from the Hall of the Very Good to the Hall of Fame. But how much longer do you think he will, not how long he can, but how long will he choose to keep hanging on to this thing if it doesn't work out this year?
I don't know. I don't think his ego will allow him to walk away on a down note. I think the only way he'd walk away is if he has a successful season. Not necessarily Super Bowl winning, but maybe he leads his team in the playoffs or something, whatever. But remember, he's Mr. Unlimited, quote unquote, self-described. I just don't see him bowing out gracefully from the spotlight, Chad, and kind of affirming all of the narrative surrounding him. Like he's broken down, he's washed. He heard that. He's sensitive to that. We learned that when he was a Bronco. So he's going to keep trying to, collect the paycheck and be a mercenary and prove that he's still the old Russell Wilson and try to fight Father Time. But like everyone else has learned in the past, that's an unwinnable battle.
Yeah, it's just sad. Like even a guy like Joe Flacco, who in terms of accolades and production as a quarterback, yes, he won a Super Bowl. He's on that same level as Russell Wilson, 1 ring. But to see him hang on and just kind of descend into the pit of ignominy and be a backup to backups and then, on really bad teams and all that, it's sad. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. For what? An extra $3-4 million paycheck? Oh, you might make $6, $7, $8 million this year because you're a veteran backup. They've already made more money than they'll ever be able to spend in this life for the most part. What's it about? Is it the hunt? Like, John Gruden talks about just that living, breathing it every day and being on the chase, being that whole, it's addictive for guys, which I can understand, Zach, because even what we do, covering what they do, right, is addictive. I can imagine how it's really hard. And honestly, Zach, anyone who has dedicated their life to something, and by their life, I mean not just their focus and attention and their efforts, but time, years and years and years. A guy can be a plumber. Some of my best pals are plumbers. They can be a plumber their whole life. When it comes time to retire, it's hard to walk away from what you know and what you're comfortable with and what gave you purpose. So I do sympathize and understand that, Zach, but at the same time, the NFL is basically telling you when it's time to hang it up, and Russell Wilson is buttoned up pretty dang close to that point.
Well, a lot of these guys are showmen. A lot of them are strategists, and Russell Wilson falls in that bucket. And what do I mean by that? He's thinking of life after football in his 40s and 50s. He's probably setting himself up to be in the entertainment industry or Hollywood. So, he's playing for the Giants now. He's got to think about Sierra. So he's playing the long game. I don't see him walking away from any millions as long as he's able to walk out in the field.
Yeah, I don't get it. So one point here, Scott brings up, this could factor in. Russ is 5,300 yards short of surpassing John Elway in the all-time record books. Then it's another 6,000 to get to the next guy, who's Eli Manning. And then Scott says, you can tell when the rules started changing when Manning is 6,000 yards ahead of a guy like John Elway. And yeah, John Elway had a long career, 16 years in the league. He wasn't a consistent starter the first year or so, but still, at least we'll just call it 15 of those 16 years, he was the guy. And for a guy like Eli Manning to be 6,000 ahead, I can't recall. Do you remember what year Eli hung it up? Was it 2021? Hold on. When did Eli Manning retire? 2020, January 2020. So 2004. So he played. Yeah, he's pretty close right there. 16. 2004. If he did the 19, yeah. So yeah, he played the same number of seasons technically on his resume as Elway. 6,000. Yeah, good point there, Mr. Producer. Two very, very different eras. Okay, back to the chat. Zach, you had an article today talking about a prediction. Kyle Krabs, I think it was, from he's a big draft guy and whatnot, and a kid, what's his name, Destin Adams. Yep. Good kid. I know that kid. He used to work for me. Good guy. But they were talking about Bo Nix making a move at some Elway records. What was that about?
Yeah, they were debating a hot take of Bo surpassing 4,000 passing yards in a season, and both of them think that it's not so hot of a take and that Bo's going to do it. They said they're taking the over. Only 4 quarterbacks, Chad, in franchise history have hit that mark in a single season. Peyton Manning.
Wait. Let's hold on. I want to guess.
Go
You
ahead.
tell me if I'm right, okay?
Yeah.
Because I don't know the answer. Like I haven't read what they said. I just know what you wrote. Peyton, obviously. Jay Cutler, 2008.
Yep.
Jake Plummer.
Yep.
Was Elway ever a 4,000-yard passer? He was?
You got it. 4 for 4, buddy.
But still, Elway, I wasn't sure. So really, it's more 3 for 4. But nevertheless, continue. Sorry.
So yeah, it's a pretty it's rarefied air, as I wrote in the story. The last quarterback that did it was Peyton Manning, but it was in 2014, his last full year, his last year as a full-time starter. It's over a decade ago, Chad. It just shows you the quarterback misery the Broncos have been in, and they both think that Bo's going to hit that. And it's not that crazy because he was less than 300 yards shy of hitting that as a rookie. He had 37.75, I think, passing yards. And now he has Pat Bryant. He got Evan Ingram. He got RJ Harvey. He got J.K. Dobbins. He has an elite offensive line in place. Another year under Sean Payton. He's more comfortable. I don't see it. I think it's the expectation now, Chad, not the hope. The floor, the ceiling is now the floor.
That's a good way of putting it. Basically, if it's not a torrential downpour at MetLife, which may have ended up serving the Broncos in the final analysis. So, we're not trying to rewrite history, but again, in a different football universe, if he just has a normal Bo Nix passing day, well, what became a normal Bo Nix passing day? That was week 4. Sorry. That would account for the 225 yards that would get him to 4K last year as a rookie. Pretty close anyway. But I think as long as he stays healthy, touch wood, it's fait accompli. He's going to crack 4,000 this year.
Which, again, I mean, only 4 quarterbacks in franchise history. 2 of them are slam dunk Hall of Famers, and the other 2 are pretty well respected, at least in Broncos canon. You could debate Jay Cutler a little bit, but we all love Jake Plummer around these parts. But yeah, Bo is on the ascension, and we talk about the national perspective and is Bo in the top 100. What I've noticed, though, is on a regional level, a micro level, Bo is getting props, Chad. He is getting the recognition he deserves, and I love to see it, honestly.
And that's the thing is you think about last year, that first quarter of the season, he was only being allowed to throw it around horizontally, right? And this year, that's not going to be the case. The full scope of the playbook is going to be open to him. Sean Payton fully trusts him now, I think is pretty safe to say. And he's got improved weapons, not just the addition of Evan Ingram. We'll see how much Pat Bryant really moves the needle, but an improved running game. If it all goes to plan, not even if the stars align perfectly, but if the Broncos are even like kind of right in the moves that they made this year, man, Bo Nix could actually go crazy. Now, the one caveat, or fly in the ointment, I should say, is it is a little bit harder schedule this time around. Last year, it was a good year. If you're the Broncos rookie starting quarterback, last year was a good year to be the Broncos rookie starting quarterback. So we'll see. But I think he's going to be well over. It's like Scott says, basically in a 17-game season, to eclipse 4,000, you basically have to be a quarterback who passes for 240 yards per game. Now, some games, maybe, the flow of the game, whatever, you might not hit 240, but in other games, you're going to go way over it. So in the final, as long as you're averaging 240, you're going to bust 4,000 easy. And I think it's a pretty safe assumption in Bo Nix's case, as long as he stays healthy.
Now, the only caveat, too, the running game could help him. It could also hurt him if they start to take off and become a run-first team. They don't need Bo Nix to throw that much. But you mentioned the teams he's going to have to face. I mean, the Bengals are on there. You got the Chargers, obviously. You got the Commanders. Those are all offensive, pass-happy teams. Those games could be shootouts, and that's situations where Bo Nix could thrive. I see him easily going over 4K, like you said, if all things remain the same.
Ralph says, I'm already predicting the Broncos send the Cowboys into their downward spiral. It happened. Was that the last year we had Talib? Do you remember that utter embarrassing beatdown? of Dak and the Cowboys. I'm pretty
He
sure
had
it
a
was
pick
17.
six, right?
Or what? Huh?
He had a pick six in that game.
Yes.
Yeah, it was 2016 or 2017.
I don't think man, I hope I'm not losing my mind. Either way, that was kind of a catalyst because up until that game, the Cowboys were being viewed as this juggernaut playoff caliber team to be feared. Broncos curb stomped them. That ended up being a catalyst. They didn't have a very good season, did not meet expectations. So Ralph's saying that's going to happen again. Cowboys haven't beaten the Broncos in Gene's lifetime. No kidding. Is that true? Is that true? I gotta do some Googling, dude, real quick. Hold on. When's the last time the Cowboys beat the Broncos? No, we're not talking preseason, guys. I don't know. Cowboys haven't beaten the Broncos since 1995, Zach.
It says,
Whoa. Is that
that's
true?
the last time they won a Super Bowl, too, the Cowboys. Right? 95 or
Oh, my
96?
goodness. Hold on. It's true, dude. The last time Dallas beat Denver was 30 frickin' years ago. Or wait, 20 years ago. Wait, 30. Holy smokes, I'm old, dude. I'm getting old. 15. Yeah, that's 20. 30 years, dude. Wow. So the one I'm thinking of, Zach, was obviously that Peyton Manning, Tony Romo duel that went 51-48. That was in 2013, the Super Bowl 48 year. That was a great game. That's probably my second most memorable Bronco Cowboy game, but it was the next one, week 2, 2017, Zach, 42-17 curb stomping. And remember, that was with Trevor frickin' Siemian as the quarterback. But the game that is still indelible was the Thanksgiving game. Was it 2005? Ron Dane running like he was a Heisman again. That was a memorable game. But anyway, Broncos Cowboys. That's the game following the meet and greet. That's week 8.
2021 was fun, too. The Broncos whooped the Cowboys at Dallas. Was that Jonathan Cooper's coming out party? Someone had a big game that game. And yeah, Ralph, the Broncos have had good luck against Big D. That's
crazy, dude. Yeah, it's not Ralph, that I am unwilling to take your word for it. It's that, it's just I had to verify it for my own, had to see it with my own eyes. Big Earn with a prediction here saying Bo Nix, 4,567 yards, 40 touchdowns, 1 interception, and MVP. Oh, baby, would that not be a season? Dream. I would love it, dude. I would love it, Zach.
Who wouldn't? That'd be incredible. I can't even do that in Madden, Ernie. So if Bo replicated that in real life, he deserves the MVP. But like PS2 said last season, Chad, why not?
Mike says, what's more difficult for the Broncos in 2025? Bo Nix crossing 4K passing, or a running back, individual running back hitting 1,000 yards? Definitely the latter. Definitely the latter. But I think if the Broncos, it will be emblematic of them pushing deeper into the playoffs if they can field a running back. Let's just start with this, who can have an individual rushing game north of 100 yards just at least once. Let's just do that. But no, a running back that is consistent and explosive and productive enough to be a bona fide 1,000-yard guy, that will have big implications on their play, not just playoff worthiness, but how dangerous they can be in the tournament.
That's a great point that I want to echo. I think it's more valuable for the Broncos if they had 2,000-yard running backs than if Bo Nix had 4,500 or so passing yards, because that would mean the running game is leading them and Bo Nix is just the cherry on top and the point guard kind of facilitating everything else. So you don't want to lean on Bo too much because that would mean the running game just not working that well. So Chad's right. I think in a Sean Payton offense, one of the running backs hitting 1,000 is more difficult.
Yeah, real quick on the subject of, and then we're going to grab Phil on that Ron Dane game I was talking about. I think fans who are old enough remember that game quite well too, because we didn't really expect that from Ron Dane. I mean, yeah, that was during the Shanahan era where, put Jensen back there. I'm rushing for 150 yards that game. Not really, but you get my point. I mean, when guys like Tatum Bell are 1,000-yard dudes. But anyway, in that game, if you recall, Tatum Bell was the starter, but he was injured. So Ron Dane, who at that point in his career, he was a bust. And he still basically finished his career as an overall bust, highly drafted guy, former Heisman, Nebraska, all that. But that was kind of like his reminder to the NFL, I'm still here. And didn't quite, if memory serves, crack 100, but it was damn close. It was like 98 yards. And one of them was an unbelievable overtime run, kind of reminiscent of C.J. Anderson, of course, many years later against the Patriots in the regular season, that Sunday night football game. I was there, snow's coming down, overtime toss, end of the game, and put the Patriots away. But that was fun, dude. That was good times. Phil, good evening. Chad, Zach, Deacon Scott. I love the fact that we have 2 joint practices this year, Niners and Cardinals. Those practices show me more than anything in training camp. Hashtag Buckham, MHH for life, Broncos for life. Yeah, dude. And it's also, by the time they get to those practices, man, those joint sessions, Zach, they're so sick of going against each other. And just being able to practice against someone who you have not seen at all, let alone a different opponent who's throwing different looks and team drill and all that stuff, it can be very useful, very useful.
Yeah, my only concern is the flip side to that is because they're so amped up to hit somebody else. I always worry about an injury. But the point you're making, Phil, is spot on here. You learn more with these joint practices than you do when the teams play each other in the exhibition games. So just the fact that we're getting around to that time of the year, I am super pumped.
No doubt about it. All right, guys. Yeah, I don't know if the Bears have ever had a 4,000-yard passer. But, let's find out, Ralph. Hold on. I mean, I'm not a historian of the Bears, so I got to think Cutler got over it a couple times. No. Closest is Eric Kramer, who threw for 3,895. Could that be? Hold on. I got to check Pro Football Reference on this, dude. I got to check it. I mean, Jay got close. Yep, it is right. 38 one year. Wow, that's sad. You want to talk about a team, Zach, that has struggled in the QB department? Yeah, the Bears.
You want to talk about a quarterback who's not changing that? Caleb Williams.
I agree. Although I think part of that too comes down to how much you believe Ben Johnson is a true force to be reckoned with. I don't know. We'll see. But it is gratifying to see that Bo Nix is probably going to continue to easily outplay the guy who was not only the first quarterback drafted in his class, but the number 1 overall pick, Byron Lewis. Brother, thank you.
Thank you,
2
Byron.
nights in a row. Dude, you're a legend. We love you. Thank you, bud. What games will you guys be at this year? I plan on going to the Broncos-Cowboys game. I'm not sure yet, dude, to be honest with you. I'll let you know when it's a little bit closer. But that will be a good one, dude. Try to come the week prior and hang out with us, Byron. That's going to be the lick, dude. That's where you want to be. You want to come hang out. But that'll be a fun game too because Dak is back. They got a new head coach. You get to see Javonte Williams returning as a Cowboy. That'll be a fun game for the home crowd.
All the NFC East games for the Broncos. Obviously, the game against the reigning champion Eagles, and then the primetime matchup against the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. It's going to be a fun docket, Byron. But yeah, if you can come out to make it to the meet and greet, we'd love to see you there. For sure, dude. And I'll let you know a little bit later in the summer, brother. A little bit later. We're very fortunate. Sometimes tickets just come our way. So like, I don't go out of my way to just go buy tickets. I just kind of wait and see how things go. And if I need to, I'll buy tickets. I usually do buy tickets every year, but I don't like jump right out of the gates when they first get made available. I kind of hang back and wait. So ask me when it's a little bit closer. Papa Bear, brother. So good to see you.
Good evening, Broncos country. Hashtag 13 and 4. Oh, he's thought it through. Plus. I love it, dude. Great to see you, man. Hope you're doing well, David.
Thank you so much, Dave. We got George here saying, guys, this has been one of the best nights. Thanks again. Denver Broncos for life, MHH for life. Hit those thumbs up. Listen to George right here. He knows what he's talking about. Hit the thumbs up. Really helps us out more than you guys can understand.
Yeah, it kind of started off rocky with the StreamYard technical issues still rearing its ugly head, but we got her on track. And thank you guys. I guess, Zach, the silver lining to the StreamYard stuff happening the last week or so is that if you got to pick a time on the NFL calendar when that's going to happen,
better do it now.
We can live with it in July.
We're such glass half full guys on this pod, man. It's great.
No doubt. Caleb Williams is number 5 all time for Bears. Different era. Yeah. But Jim McMahon had a solid run. I'm trying to think of the guys that came after him. You had Harbaugh, Cutler, and a whole host of faceless, nameless people that have been already relegated to the dustbin of NFL history. That team is cursed, Zach, when it comes to quarterbacks. And I don't know. I'm not throwing in the towel on Caleb being a thing. I think the team did the best it could to try and hedge against that with the coaching changes it made. But it's just, I'll believe it when I see it. But then again, that's what I used to say about Ohio State quarterbacks, right? And then C.J. Stroud had himself a year, got to the playoffs in a sophomore slump. He still led his team to the playoffs. So, hey, if that can happen. So what he's talking about here, Mr. Producer, is in individual yards in a season. So passing yards in a season. That's where Caleb Wright Scott is number 5 all time, has the 5th most passing yards in a single season. McMahon is ranked 21st. In 1985, he had 2,100 yards. Different era. Totally. Eric, dude, thank you, brother. Great to see you. Appreciate you being with us tonight. Guys, this is your 2-minute warning before we got to dip on out of here. While Zach is going through a couple messages for you, whatever's on your mind, get it in the chat. We'll hit it before we dip.
Another tremendous episode, as always, of the Mile High Huddle podcast. If you're not doing so, please follow us on X at the MHH Pod. You can follow the main account on X at Mile High Huddle. Chad at Chad and Jensen, and myself at Kelberman NFL, and Scott, our producer, at Scout Kennedy. If you guys want some merch like we're rocking each and every single podcast, check out MHHmerch.com. Get you some. If you haven't done so yet, please drop us a like at facebook.com/Mile High Huddle Pod. You can find us on Instagram at Mile_High_Huddle. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you're leaving your football pre-save 5-star review for a chance to win some merch each and every single month. But if anything, y'all, please, very, very important that you subscribe, you like, you share this video and every video you see on the MHH channel. It really helps us grow and reach more Broncos fans just like you.
All right. Bengals have never won a Super Bowl. They've gotten to 2. Esiason came damn close against the Niners. I think that was 88. And then, of course, Joe Burrow. What was the final score in that Burrow Super Bowl? I got to remind myself. Hold on. Bengals. Wasn't that the Rams?
Yep.
20. So actually, Joe Burrow got closer. Lost 20-23. I don't remember the exact flow of that game, so it could be no, because Bengals didn't score in the fourth quarter. I'm looking at the box score. So anyway. Yeah, that's one of the worst franchises in terms of 3. Hold on. Hang on. I gotta check my history here. You're right. That's right. I forgot about 82. I forgot about the 81 season that happened in 82. Good catch, brother. Thank you, pal. All right, guys. Anything last on your minds? That's right, Ken Anderson. How could I forget Ken Anderson? Just taking a look here. Yep. Okay, I think we are good. Oh, MBLEX. Yeah, okay. Northcutt. Got my heart set on December 7th in Las Vegas for first Bronco game ever. Dude, that would be sick. Hope it happens for you, bro. Hope it happens. Yeah, that's right. So Bengals lost to Niners twice and the Rams once. All right. Okay, here we go. Mile high salute to the great Super Chat superstars and supporters in the depths of the July depredations, the NFL summer, helping us keep the lights on. Love you guys. Michaela, the Duchess, you're the bomb.com. Sam, the Ronk, Gene, Taylor, of course, Doug, hope to see you, dude, at the meet and greet. Tucson Phil in the hizzy. Like to see you at one of these meet and greets, Phil. It'd be awesome to shake your hand, buddy. Byron Lewis, back-to-back nights. George Fox, the Papa Bear, every night, even if it's at the 11th hour like tonight, dude. So awesome, man. Appreciate you, bro. Eric Flynn. Oh, wait. One more from Byron. Thank you, dude. Second super chat, Santa. Appreciate you, boys, because I'm losing my mind before the season starts. I know. Look at the hopefully this is how it feels to you guys. Not a, even if you're not a drinker, because I'm not a drinker. But like what we do here, it's kind of like you go to work all day, you do your thing, and you go elbow up to the bar for an hour to talk about the Broncos and football, and you go back to life, you go back home, kiss the wife, have dinner with the kids, etc., etc. That's kind of a fun way to think of it. But Byron, dude, you're helping us from going crazy too.
We've been saying it for months. It's felt like the longest offseason yet, Byron, because of the Broncos' success, and we're all raring for the season to start. But it's going to get here before we know it. We're almost there. We appreciate your support. Thank you so much for tonight.
All right, guys. Ralph saying, also, how could I forget Ralph? Much appreciation for your hard work. Great show. Thank you, bro. My season prediction is on the low side, 11 wins, and it's almost season time. I'm hoping everyone else's predictions go to the football gods. That's right, dude. I love it. Thank you, Ralph. You are a legend, living legend, and it's going to be fun to hang out in a couple months, dude, at the meet and greet. So love you guys. Have a great week. And Zach and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Hopefully no bugs from StreamYard.
Yeah, God willing. We'll see you Thursday. Have a great start to your week. Take care. And as always, go Broncos.